Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to episode 122 of the Driftless Knitting podcast. My name is Jennifer. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Driftless Knitter, and you can find my patterns on Ravelry and on driftlessknitting.com, as well as Payhip, although those are a little bit harder to find and search out, but they are there. I am coming to you from southwestern/central Wisconsin here on March 10th, 2023, and it is about 2:15 in the afternoon. It is a Friday, and I am home today from work because we got some snow last night. We got enough snow that the Madison and our area school districts called off school for today, which means that I get to stay home. It is a privilege, and I'm very lucky that when school is closed, we have built into our employee handbook at my current work, we get the days off as well. So yes, I'm very lucky, and I'm able to come to you today because my daycare provider for my 2-year-old son is not connected to the districts. And it turns out that the roads were actually pretty decent this morning. My husband also has an all-wheel drive SUV and had to go to work anyway. And so he dropped him off at our daycare provider's house. I decided to do a little bit of a vlog as well during the day today, just a little bit here and there of what I was getting up to. And I talked a little bit on there, and I will post all those videos at the end of this real podcast episode. I was saying a little bit how I am feeling a little bit guilty about that because I am home. He could stay home. He has a blast there. He's at a small, at-home daycare, so there's only another handful of kids. They all get along so well. They're his best friends, and he loves Anne is her name. But you still have he could stay home. I also haven't had a day to catch up on housework, catch up on some little projects that have been building up, and just relax a little bit for I don't know how long. It has been maybe since before Christmas, honestly, that I have been here at the house by myself for the entire day. No, I take that back. There was another day where there was some weather and I got to stay home, but that was a while ago. Anyway, so I decided to take the day. I have gotten lots of stuff done, as you will see later on, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to do a podcast episode. As you can tell by my voice, I am also still getting over a cold. We here at my house, we have been sick on and off for the last couple of months. I know that has been the case for a lot of people. I had a terrible, terrible cold. It wasn't COVID, but it was the worst I've been sick in a very long time a few weeks ago. And then it kind of got better. It went away. And then just this past week, I came down with another cold just when it felt like I was getting back to my usual self. I came down with that. My son has been coughing on and off, congested for the last couple of months, and now Seaver has been really lucky and hasn't gotten anything pretty much all winter. He hasn't caught it from our son or myself, but he got hit this week. So he currently doesn't really have a voice. He's feeling a little run down, congested. So yeah, so I apologize for the state of my voice, but it's better than it has been for a while. Yeah. So I guess I'm going to move right into what I'm wearing today because I did decide to wrap a shawl around my neck. It's a little bit colder in here. We keep our heat down during the day when we're not home, and I just decided not to mess with that. And so I've just been, kind of keeping warm in other ways and moving around a lot. You don't get cold when you're cleaning your house, really. So this is a shawl that I actually designed. This is called the Riverbank shawl. I haven't worn this in a very long time, actually. I love this shawl. It's a DK weight shawl knit with 2 skeins, so it's nice and big. It is slightly asymmetrical. I guess I will pop it off here for a second. So I won't be able to really, here, let me stand up. I won't be able to show you too well because I am limited with my space, with my yarn shelf behind me, but it's slightly asymmetrical. It's knit on the bias, so you start over here and then you increase, and it has some really subtle cabling that just sort of makes it undulate just a little bit. The cables are, it's all done in stockinette, so it's not like you're framing the cables in any way. So they just kind of pop out of the fabric a little bit. I knit this shawl. Let me sit back down. Wrap it around my neck again. I knit this shawl out of Dye Monkey yarns. I think it's called maybe her Tap DK. I don't believe, actually I know for sure that Dye Monkey isn't dyeing yarn anymore. She closed her business and put everything on sale maybe a year ago now. Like a little bit ago. It's not recent. So yeah, I think she was out of Arizona or somewhere out west. But I got to meet her at one point. She came to a shop in Wisconsin that I went to and had a trunk show, and that's where I got this yarn. I, again, can't remember the name of the colorway, but since she isn't dyeing yarn anymore, I don't know when or how you'd get your hands on this colorway anyway, but yeah, it just takes 2 100-gram skeins of DK weight, and you can find this pattern on Ravelry and Payhip. I cannot remember if I have it up on my website. I can't remember. I loaded several of them, maybe about half of my patterns, onto my website, but not all of them are up there quite yet. Yeah, so really fun pattern, really fun to wear, nice and warm, but not too overwhelming, which I love. Okay, I am going to just jump into finished objects. I have quite a few, well, not quite a few, a handful of finished objects and a handful of works in progress. If you watched my Vlogmas episodes, you will have known that I filmed a podcast right before Vlogmas started, so like end of November. I wanted to do like a full podcast episode before that all got started because I knew I wasn't going to film during December, and then it just turns out that I have not been able to film until March, so it's been quite a few months. But that episode didn't get deleted per se, but my phone was needing to do an update and it wasn't letting me record for long chunks of time. It would shut it off. It wasn't like downloaded on my phone correctly, so I couldn't upload them onto my computer. It was just a mess. Like something was just wacky with those files because it needed to do an update. Once I did the update, it was totally fine. And I think actually I'm due for another update. So I'm watching that the time is still going up on the screen so that I know I'm still recording. But that was just kind of a nightmare. It took me like 2.5 hours to film like a 1-hour podcast, and then I couldn't upload it. And then I was so disappointed. So I just decided, instead of I honestly, I wouldn't even know how to fix the files that were damaged. I just decided to scrap it. So I apologize for that. But that's why you haven't seen a full-length episode in a very long time. And I'm hoping I don't forget to show you some things, but I probably will. There's a few things that went out as Christmas presents you will have seen during Vlogmas, but I, don't have here obviously to show you. But hopefully those are the only things that I'm like missing. So first I'm going to start with some finished objects. This you've seen finished, I believe. And of course I didn't grab the name of the sweater, which is, oh yeah. But it's been on previous episodes. Excuse me. It's been on previous episodes. I knit it quite a while ago, but then it sat on my dresser all folded up and cute and pretty for months. It's a gift for a friend of mine who had a baby, and I finally got the buttons sewed on. So this is, again, I can't remember the name of the pattern, but I knit this quite a while ago. This is out of Knit Circus Yarns. The Beacons Are Lit Speckle. And this is the Divine DK base, which is 100% superwash merino. You can see the base of it is like a bluish gray. It's got speckles and variegation of brown, a little bit of like this gold color in there, some more like bluish gray. I love, 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 love this colorway. I've actually knit a couple of like kids and baby projects with this colorway. So yes, I'm very excited. This I think is the 6-month size, or the 9 to 12. I can't remember. It's bigger. It's definitely bigger than the next one I have to show you. So knowing that this baby will be a little bit bigger, I wanted it to be able to be used into like this upcoming, I know it's March and it's still snowing but this like upcoming fall and winter, if you know what I mean. So yes, so a little bit bigger. Yeah, very happy with that. Very happy with the buttons. I just used some DMC floss that was in my cross stitch stash to sew those on, and they are buttons, wooden buttons from Joann Fabrics. We don't really have a good place for buttons around here, which is surprising since I live so close to Madison. But there are several bigger box store craft stores near me, Joann Fabrics being right next to where I work. So I went there. I prefer to go there, even though right now I think they're going through, at least that one nearby us is going through some staffing shortages and some supply shortages. Not sure. They've been kind of dealing with some stuff lately. Whenever I go in there, it just seems to be a little like chaotic. But they still had a good selection of buttons. We also have a Hobby Lobby nearby, but I try to avoid Hobby Lobby for reasons that I'm sure many of you know. As much as I can, I have been, I don't want to say forced, but I have been inclined to go there a couple of times since they opened about a year ago, but prefer to do Michaels or Joann Fabrics instead. There's a Michaels somewhat nearby as well, but Joann is just so close to where I work. So I stopped there. I found what I needed. I'm pretty happy with these buttons, even though they're nothing super special. They are just, they're organic, it's wood, they're natural, and this is just such a natural colorway. I think they really lean into that. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Okay, the next one you have not seen at all, except for probably on my Instagram. So this is the Wee Ashley sweater. And I can't get over how cute this pattern is. Longtime viewers, this is maybe the 4th Wee Ashley, or Baby Ashley. This is the Baby Ashley. The Wee Ashley is even smaller. It's like preemie and like newborn. Whereas this one, I think I did the 0 to 3 month size, and so that's the smallest size of the Baby Ashley. The Wee Ashley has an even smaller size for like straight out of the hospital type of a, baby. So this is done also in a DK weight. This is done in also Knit Circus Yarns. That's where I work, if anyone is wondering. Knit Circus Yarns, Sage Advice Semi-Solid. Ooh, one of my favorite colorways. I love, love, love this yarn base. This is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. Yes, I am giving a baby a yarn with cashmere in it. I don't care. I think that it wears actually quite well. It might get a little bit fuzzy. It is superwash, so the parents won't have to really worry about being super delicate with it. I have washed superwash yarns in a cold cycle in my washing machine, and I've been just fine with it, so I'm not super worried. And I wanted it to be really, really, really soft and just beautiful. So yeah, I finished knitting this a few weeks ago. I started it in January, I want to say, but I did not finish it until probably the middle of February. Yeah, it was like middle of January to middle of February. So even though it's a smaller project, it still took me about a month, with other things kind of going on at the same time. And today is again the day that I sewed on the buttons. I also bought these at Joann Fabrics, and that green gets kind of blown out when it's too close. I liked the darker brown on the sage. I thought that was really pretty. Again, pretty rustic. This is, what was I was going to say something. Oh, this is for a baby girl. When I started knitting it, I did not know the gender of the baby, because it's for Seaver's cousin and his wife, who just had their baby a few days ago. Again, I talk about this more in the vlogs. It's so weird because I already filmed while I was sewing on the buttons. I filmed a little bit and I was talking about this, or maybe before I was sewing on the buttons, and I talked about how the mother was my delivery nurse with Hudson, Seaver's cousin's wife. So, and yes, we were in Madison. It was kind of, we knew that she worked there, but when they saw our last name, we have the same last name, and they were like, do you know, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, yeah, actually that's like my husband's cousin-in-law. And they're like, well, do you want her as your nurse? And at first we were like, is that going to be weird? Is that a conflict of interest? And then we're like, no, actually, that's kind of awesome, because we liked her. We'd met her a little bit, didn't know her very well, but met her a little bit and knew we liked her. We're like, yeah, sure. Okay. If she's willing, like if she doesn't want to, no pressure, put someone else on our team. It's fine. But no, she was great. And I talk about it a little bit more in the vlog, so you'll see that later. But this is for them. They just had their baby girl like March 3rd or something like that, just like a week ago. So very excited for that. I do think that some people were speculating when I was posting about this sweater that this was for my family. It is not for my family. I'm gifting both of these sweaters. However, if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that we are actually expecting our second baby. So yes, I am pregnant, but no, this is not for my baby. So yeah, so that's very exciting. I am like 16 and a half weeks along, almost 17 weeks now. So I am a few weeks into my second trimester, which feels great. I have so much more energy than I did. One of the reasons why it's taken me so long to knit a couple of these projects is because that first trimester I was so tired. I have a 2-year-old. I was having some, sickness. I don't want to call it morning sickness because most of the time it was at night, night sickness. And I was just tired and not motivated. There were times where I was laying on the couch or watching something at night, and I'm like, I could so easily go grab my knitting. Like, why do I not even feel like looking at it? And it's always scary when that happens, when it's such a important part of your life and you don't feel like even being around it. I mean, I never stopped ogling my yarn and everything, but I just was not motivated. And then of course the second trimester hits. I want to knit everything. I want to, all the baby projects, all the yarn. I just want to be knitting constantly and creating. And so that feels so good to have some of that motivation back and that creativity back. But yeah, so thank you to everybody who commented on my Instagram post last week. That's when I announced that we were expecting, and everybody has been so kind. We're very excited. We will be finding out if we're having a boy or a girl, but we do not know yet. So yeah, yay. Okay, last finished object. I finished my Christmas Eve cast-on socks. Yay! So these were the socks I cast on this past Christmas Eve, 2022. I knit this out of a homespun house. The main color is called Christmas Morning, and the mini is Juniper. This is dyed, I don't want to blow anything out, but it's dyed, just the Juniper is dyed on Gold Stellina, and then the Christmas Morning is dyed on Soft Sock or something like that. It's her 80 or her 75-25 blend. It's not the like the twist. I have some other homespun house here. Here, let's look at this one. So this is the Plump Merino, which has a like a 2-ply twist to it. Not really 2-ply, but it looks, you know, yeah, fluffier. This is her, just her other, actually, yeah, I do have weird. Soft Sock. Okay, it is called Soft Sock. Cool. So it is 75% Super Russian Merino and 25% nylon. It helps when you have a stash behind you of the same yarn, of some of the same yarn. So this isn't all a homespun house, but I have her yarn kind of in this area. So anyway, anywho, this is a new sock pattern that I released this year, or last year, I guess, 2022. It is called One More Sleep Till Christmas. And this yarn is very variegated, so it's really hard to see the details of it, but oh man, you can't really see the texture. There's photos online. There's photos on my Instagram page. It's a lightly textured sock. I have been, actually, this is the same pattern. I've talked about it a little bit, that I've knit a couple pairs of socks in before I released the pattern. I think I knit a pair with Bumblebee Acres yarn in one of their Jane Austen colorways. That was the same pattern. And I knit the original Christmas of 2021 out of my like holiday yarn from Woolberry Fiber Company. That was the first time I created the pattern, and then I knitted, like I said, a couple more times, and then finally released it. So yeah, it is available. I think that one is only available on Ravelry, as far as I know. I don't think I uploaded it on any other. Oh no, it is on, is it on driftlessknitting.com? I think it is. Yes. Yes, it is. Yay. I remember making the coupon code for that when it was on sale over Vlogmas. Okay. Whew. All right. So that is all for finished objects. I'm going to take a little sip of my water here. I am drinking Hint water. I usually don't, I almost feel like guilty. I usually don't buy bottled water at all. We have a filtration system, but I saw this in the store and I love Hint. I've had it many times before. I just try not to buy bottled water, and the strawberry lemon flavor was like calling to me. You know, when, not to make this an excuse, as not to make an excuse, but when you're pregnant and sometimes you see something, you're just like, I need that right now. That's what it was with this water. So it's relatively healthy. It's not carbonated, 0 calories, there's no sweeteners. It's just literally like the fruit in the water. So it's so good. It's so good. Okay, let's move on to works in progress. Okay, I guess we'll start with this one since there's not much to show. This is in a bag that I got from a art festival, a Christmas craft art festival several years ago. This was like pre-pandemic, and it's just a little bag. You can kind of, if you wanted to use it as a yarn bowl. I just really loved it. I saw it displayed as like a yarn bowl, and I love the fabric. So, yep, this came home with me. I am using the leftovers of Sage Advice in the Daring DK that I had from the baby Ashley, and I'm knitting a Beloved bonnet. That's by Tin Can Knits. Now, this is going to be for our new baby, but I had to rip out a section of it because I realized I was slipping my stitches wrong. I wasn't doing the I-cord edging correct on one side. So I ripped out, thankfully I wasn't that far, but it was gonna bother me. And so I took it back down to the I-cord. So you start this with doing an I-cord, and then you like increase and you kind of come up to the top, and then you go back down, and then you end with knitting an I-cord on the other side. So that is all I have right now. These are on some ChiaoGoo, just circular bamboo. I don't often knit with my ChiaoGoo bamboos. I have a fair number of them because it's what I used to get all the time. But I usually like to knit with my interchangeable, my Addy Click interchangeables, but I needed that size for a different project that I started somewhat recently as well, which I'll show you in a second. So yeah, Beloved bonnet, that is getting knit, and hopefully it's going to be a really fast project. I just, yeah, after ripping that out, I can't remember when I did that, maybe Monday. I haven't really gone back to it because I've been working on what's in this bag. So this is a bird legs bag. They no longer make bags, but I love and cherish my bird legs bag. Super, super cute. It's a box, and it's made from like interfacing, like thin-ish interfacing. And again, there's not much to see of this. I just started this a couple days ago. But this is the beginning of the Minis and Me shawl by Tammy Gore. So I am knitting this as a sample for Knit Circus. We are getting ready to put together our 2023 wholesale catalog, and we're knitting up samples with new colorways, new yarns. And yeah, so this is part of that. You can see I have a Lock and Lou Progress Keeper on there. This is, I think, my first one I've ever gotten when she first started making Progress Keepers. And yeah, it's just a kind of typical start to these type of shawls. I right now am just knitting with our like undyed cream colored base. It's called Creamy Sheep, and this is on our 80% merino, 20% nylon fingering weight base. It's called Greatest of Ease. And yeah, I'm plugging away on that. I have a little bit to go before I get to add in the first mini. And oh boy, that just fell. And I'm not going to show you all the colors because we have actually not released this mini skein set yet. This is a brand new one that will be coming to our shop. I really don't know when. I'm not sure if we're going to wait until after the June wholesale show, or if we're going to release this as a separate thing and then just release the the sample. So that also means that I probably won't be able to show it too much to you from now on once I start adding in the colors, unless we are doing it as a general release sometime soon. So I'm just going to kind of lift up. I'm just going to give you a flash. Hopefully that's okay. You're getting a sneak peek, guys. That's why you watch this show, right? Get a sneak peek. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Ready? Ready. Okay. Ooh, we saw a couple colors there. So it's gonna be fun. It's definitely in my kind of color house, my comfort zone when it comes to color. And I cannot wait to start adding in the different sections of color and stitches. If you haven't seen or you're not familiar with Tammy Gore's design, she does a lot with like 2 colors or 3 colors or like mini sets, adding in different textures, different stitches. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. I've been wanting to knit a shawl for a while. I haven't knit a shawl in a long time. And I was actually going to cast one on when I realized we did not have anyone to knit this sample yet. So I was like, hey, I might as well. I get to use some yarn I didn't have to pay for, and I get to knit this pattern that I've always wanted to. So it's kind of a win-win. Okay, so next work in progress. Both of these that I'm going to show you are also mini skein projects. I've done considerable work on one of them and a little bit of work on the other. This is in my Hannah Lou Designs sock sack. There's her tag. I got this last summer from my wonderful friends at Bumblebee Acres. That is where the Hannah Lou Designs bags are sold on their website. And this is a pattern actually by Sam, who is one of the bumblebees. And I've showed this in the past, but I'm going to show it again because I reached a very fun milestone on my calico quilt shawl. So I am knitting this awesome project out of my 2021, like what year is it? My 2021 Advent from Woolberry Fiber Company. I did not get around to using mine, and I just couldn't decide on a project until I saw this. I am actually going to turn this calico quilt shawl into a blanket. And I've described kind of how I'm going to do that. Sam gives a little bit of pointers in the pattern on how you can do like a mirrored version of it on the other side, like pick up and knit the other way to kind of create, you know, instead of a triangle, you create this like square. I'm going to do that. I'll let you know how it goes. I think when I was talking to her in September, I saw them at Wisconsin Sheep and Wool. She was like, yeah, I don't know if I've actually ever seen anyone do that. Like she put it in the pattern like as a possibility. She's like, that'll be interesting to see. I don't think I've seen that yet. So I'm really, really excited. But I squared it off. I mean, I kind of, not really, because it's a triangle. But I got to the end. I think the last time I showed it to you, I probably did not have these 3 done, I think. I honestly can't remember. It's been a while. But I also have a Lock and Lou Progress Keeper on this one. That is a cute little calico kitty with a ball of yarn. And I actually got that one custom made for me by Katie of Lock and Lou, because I was telling her about my calico cat I had growing up, and she's like, send me over a photo. I'll make you a progress keeper. I was like, okay. So that was super, super nice. And I'm just looking, I hope this is a snag and not a drop stitch. I don't think that's a drop stitch. Okay. You never want to see like a loop of yarn sticking out. Like, what did I do? No, I think it's okay. So yeah, I am, oh gosh, I can't remember if I'm on like day 17 or something like that. I think, okay, day 18. So this is day 18. Look at that beautiful green. I think this is day 17. Yep, so I am on day 17, and that's this green. So these two will be kind of next to each other. And then day 19 is completely different. That's okay. So these 3 will come next. And then I have my other skeins, my other mini skeins in a bag, a tote bag across the room. I only wind them up like 2 or 3 at a time because I don't knit on this that often. I just wind up what I need or what I will need for a while. When I get to it, I get to it. But I think when I was sick the first time, I had such an urge to knit on my scrappy projects that I grabbed this, and I think I did at least 2, if not 3 of the triangles on this. And I did a lot of work on the next project I'm going to show you, which is in this gigantic tote bag. A lot of this is yarn. So I just took out my cozy memory blanket, and it's still like, I put like half skeins if I haven't used them yet. Like there's my, from my Christmas socks, I just threw them in there. That way I can use them, and then I put them in another area for like saving for other things. What am I saving them for? I don't know, but something. I can't throw away a 1/4 of a skein of yarn. That would be just ludicrous. So this is my cozy memory blanket. Oh my gosh. It is so big. I did not realize, honestly, how big this was until I laid it out on my king size bed, and it goes from like one end of the king size bed to the other. What? I have just been knitting on it. I did not know, like, when you're knitting on it, you're only holding a portion of it in your hands. You don't realize how big it is. And then I'm like laying it out. I forget why I had it like that. And I'm like, this is going to be huge. And I still have a couple more to go to add on to the end to like make it longer. So this is going to be able to like fit on my bed, which is crazy. I don't know about height wise. I'm not sure how like big I'm going to make it the other way, but it needs to be proportional, right? I can't just have like the super long strip of squares. See, you can see it's not really that. It's only like 5 squares tall, but right now it's at least like 22 squares across or something like that. So the reason I know that is because this, let me just like drape it on myself. This row right here, all the way across, is my advent from a homespun house from 2019. All of these advents, I can't keep them straight. I'm just trying to think of like what was happening at the time. Hudson was not born yet, and we were in our apartment before we had him. So I'm pretty sure it was 2019. Anyway, I still have, so I wanted to do them all in one row. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there, it's 20 across right now. I still have 5 like leftovers from my advent. I've already knit a project with these, but these were left over. So I added them to my blanket, and I just thought it would be kind of fun to have them all in a row. Well, I didn't really realize how long that would be. And once I got started, I'm like already 20 in. I'm like, well, I can't just like zip up to, I could zip up to the top and like add them across the top. I probably should have broken them up in half, maybe. Anyway, I have made my bed. I'm gonna lie in it, cozy under this blanket. So I'm okay with that. But yeah, I have worked so much on this. I think since we talked, since I showed this the last time, I've done like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe that one. And then I did one, ooh, way over here. So like 8-ish, which is a lot for me. I sometimes go months and months without picking this up, and I was just so inspired to knit on it, and it was just like a comfort knit while I was sick. It's the only thing I wanted to pick up while I was not feeling well. And then every time I watch Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady, I just want to knit on scrappy projects. I want to pick this up and add another square. And I've been trying to keep up with her podcast, so she's definitely a big inspiration when it comes to knitting scrappy things and knitting with your mini skeins. So yeah, that's been really fun. But I'm really glad. It's just so, what's the word? Instant gratification to get a square done and to see them all just kind of adding up and see your yarn kind of dwindling, or at least like getting to move your yarn from, when I move the yarn from this bag to like I almost said its final resting place, but hopefully I use some of these scraps again, to the other area I have leftovers. It's just kind of nice, like, okay, that's in there, moving on to the next one. It feels really good. So yeah, so that is all of my whips, all of my finished objects. I did want to show really quick, during Vlogmas, I posted a little video, and I think I've talked about it a couple of more times, about my sister's hand knit socks that I have made her and how they needed mending. So my sister loves wearing hand knit socks, which is amazing, but she wears through them very quickly. So I gave these to her a couple years ago, and she gave them back to me about a year later with holes in both socks, in the like pad of the foot and the heel. So I have been on a mending journey, learning. I'm not very good at it yet. It's not very pretty, but my sweet Oma showed me how to mend, and I think she helped me with one of them. I recorded her helping me. Was it this one? I can't remember. And then I did, so this pair is done. Like I said, it's not that pretty. It's not pretty at all, but it's functional. It'll work. I have one more pair to mend, but yeah, I'm really glad to be getting these back to her. These were my original garden plot socks that I knit and released the pattern for these. They went to my sister, and yeah, like I said, she loves them, which is fabulous. But yeah, my Oma showed me, she's the one, of course, who has showed me so many, almost all of my crafts that I love to do. And she actually gave this to me. I don't know if I get to keep this. This is her, like, darning. I mean, they call it darning egg sometimes. A lot of them I've seen are a lot more round and egg shaped, but this one actually is kind of the shape of the foot, which is fabulous. If I do get to keep this, I'm going to like prize this forever. My Oma actually might be watching this, because sometimes she does watch the podcast. But Oma, did this come from Germany? Did you get this sent to you from Germany? Am I just making that up? I can't remember. Either way, my Oma owned it and used it. I'm going to use it now, and that means that it's going to become a prized possession to me. So yeah, so that's been pretty cool, learning how to do that. Like I said, I have one more pair to do so far, unless she's gone through more hand knit socks since this time. She's just afraid to tell me, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so that's kind of a finished object, kind of an ongoing work in progress, new skill. Gotta love it. Okay, I'm gonna show you some yarn. I thought that I would do a really, really quick show and tell of some of the yarn I got over Christmas and over the holidays, because if you don't watch Vlogmas and you're not interested in watching that type of a video, I did get some monthly, besides my Advent, I got like a weekly, I did a weekly open of some sock sets from Legacy Fiber Arts, and I got a few things for Christmas. All of these, besides one skein that I have gotten since Christmas, I know, only one skein. I actually ordered something else, but it's still in England, or on its way from England, because it was an international yarn dyer, but we're not going to count that. But yeah, all the rest of these have been shown on the Vlogmas episodes. Hopefully those of you who watched Vlogmas don't mind me showing them again. But I'm going to start with the Legacy Fiber Arts Dickens Christmas. This was inspired by A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I absolutely love Charles Dickens. He's one of my favorite authors. I have waxed poetic about how inspiring he is to me and his works are to me. Yes, I know he had some issues, but a lot of people did and do. Not to make any excuses for some of his behavior, but yeah, I still love him. I still love him. Okay, this is Ghost of Christmas Past. Isn't that pretty? This is all on their steel toes fingering weight, which is 75.25. And then, except for actually this mini, it's just a white mini, but it is on a stellina, right? Yeah, silver. Silver? Yep. I don't know if you're really going to be able to see that. Maybe you can see some of the sparkles. Yeah, you can see a little bit. So this is a micro sock set. They all are. It's a 50-gram skein of yarn and a 20-gram mini, which is plenty of yarn for me to knit a pair of socks. Or if I figure out another project I want to do with it. But yeah, so this is Ghost of Christmas Past. This was the first one I opened. Then, let's see here. That was Ghost of Christmas Present. It's just so perfect. Jolly and fun and exciting and whimsical. I love this one. Okay, and then we have Ghost of Christmas Future. Spooky. So yeah, I actually love how I commented on this in Vlogmas, but they kind of switched around the semi-solid and the speckle. So you get the speckle as the mini and the more solid color as the full 50-gram. And I think that is really cool. So that's Ghost of Christmas Future, or Christmas Yet to Come. And this is Scrooge. This was the fourth one that I opened. So it was every Sunday of December. I saved my last one until Christmas and I opened it on Christmas Day. But yeah, that's Scrooge. So those were super, super fun. Besides my Advents, having something to look forward to opening was just, it was a blast. So speaking of Advents, I'll also show you the Advent 2022 full skein from my Palmer Yarn Co. Advent. You will see my full Advent during the vlog at the end because one of the projects I did today was tag the rest of them. I had not gone back and tagged them with their numbers, and it was getting to the point where I was like, am I ever going to do this? I just need to do it. And I had the motivation today, so I did. So this is the full skein that I opened on Christmas morning. It is called, is it just called Advent 2022? Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, Palmer Yarn Co. This is a Winona, Minnesota-based dyer. I used to live there, work there, and actually know Kimberly. I used to know Kimberly. It's been years, but I feel like I still do. And this is on her 80/20 merino nylon soft sock base. Probably my favorite base. Like an 80/20 with that like puffy ply. That is what I love. Okay, so now we'll move on to things I actually got for Christmas. I ordered this for myself, but I had it sent to my mom's house, and then my mom wrapped it and gave it to me for Christmas. So it was a mystery. It was kind of like a sock club that you're given the mood board or the inspiration photos, and then, you order it, you open it, it's a surprise. So I didn't know what the yarn was going to look like until I got it. But this is from 6 and 7 Fiber. I have some of her yarn already. I am a long admirer, and we did a trunk show with her at Knit Circus, and I was able to grab some of her yarn there. But this is the first I've actually ordered from her like mystery clubs. So this is on alfalfa fingering weight, which is an 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. And the mini skein is on her Milo fingering weight, which is 75/25 merino nylon. Sorry, my voice is starting to get a little hoarse. But yeah, I love that. I loved her inspiration photos. I love the subtle like base color of the yarn, and then the speckles on there match really well with this like burnt rusty orange. Super pretty. So that was really fun to open. And then I sent my husband a link to Palmer Yarn Co. was having, I don't know if these were actually on sale, but they were like one of a kind, like never gonna do again mini skeins that she had like put together. I don't know if they were like prototypes or she was testing out colors or something, but she had some one of a kind mini skein sets, and I really, really loved this one. And I sent the link to my husband in case he still needed some gift ideas, and he ordered it for me. So that was really nice. That was really exciting to open. You kind of, you know, send out these hints and you never know if they're gonna actually pick up on them or whatever, but sending the link was a little clear. I was pretty much like, hey, I want this. So this is also on the 80/20 merino nylon blend, and yeah, each of them are 20 grams with 80 yards. It's the same base, same everything as the Advent skeins, but my Advent skeins, I'm going to be doing a separate project all on their own, so it'll be fun to do something with these together. I love like this color with these. I just that like warm and cool combos. I love that. And she's even got a speckle, like a speckle color in there too. So really fun, really happy about that. And then the other skein that I've gotten since Christmas, that was not gift or anything. I ordered this from Bumblebee Acres Yarn. They did a Jane Eyre and a Wuthering Heights, so like Bronte sisters update. They had several colorways based on each of the books, and I got Jane Eyre on their Tweed Erin. Yeah. Tweedle? Tweety? I think that's supposed to be Tweety, but it kind of looks like Tweedle. I kind of like Tweedle. 85% superwash merino, 15% neps. It's an Erin weight. There are 183 yards. And yeah, this is from the Jane Eyre collection. And it, like I said, it is the Jane Eyre colorway as well. So I really, really love this. I sent a photo of their Jane Eyre update to my sister because Jane Eyre is like her favorite book. And one of her favorite books used to be, anyway, still, yeah, like I said, one of her favorites, but she really, really liked this colorway, and I think I might do a new hat for her. I knit her a hat a couple of years ago, and it's seen better days. She actually sent it through, I think she put it in the dryer. It's superwash yarn, but she put it in the dryer, and the pom-pom that I had on it like exploded in the dryer. She sent me the funniest, saddest picture of just this like pile of yarn pieces that used to be the pom-pom. She was like crying. She was so upset, and I'm just sitting there laughing so hard. I'm almost crying now from laughing. But she was still like picking pieces of this yarn from the dryer because she had, yeah. I think it's hilarious. I mean, it's probably good that I'm the one that made it, and I think it's hilarious. She was sad. She felt so bad that she ruined the pom-pom. She still wears the hat, but it's just got this like scriggly little pom-pom on top instead of like a full one. It's so funny. But it's still a beautiful hat. Whenever I see that, I made that for like a couple of years ago. And all winter, she wears it whenever she leaves the house pretty much. And I'm like, oh, Jill, you need a new hat. So that's, I think, going to be a new hat for my sister. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I have been filming for almost an hour. I'm pretty pretty excited by how quickly I went through my stash or my acquisitions. I just know that some of you have already seen them and just needed a little bit of a reminder, or were just, you know, maybe you're not interested at all, but either way, hopefully that wasn't too painful. I am going to, I'm going to try and get this uploaded, and probably won't get it uploaded onto YouTube tonight, but I'm going to get it onto my computer. And hopefully you get to see this soon. That would be fabulous. I feel so accomplished and so happy that I got a chance to sit down and talk to you today. I hope you all have had a great winter holiday season when that, way back when that happened. Maybe some of you are experiencing spring, which would be fantastic. I am jealous. We've had a couple like middling warm days in the 40s, maybe reach 50-ish, but not quite. And I'm really looking forward to some of those like mild spring days where we can go out in, sweatshirts or a light jacket. Hudson can play outside. I'm craving that so badly right now. I miss the days where we could stop at the county parks and play on our way home, take walks and walk through the woods. I can't wait. I have cabin fever. I really have cabin fever. I want the sun to come back out. I want the snow to melt. And here we are with another blanket of it. But hopefully by next week, I think it's going to get warm again. This was kind of a dip. It's not surprising in Wisconsin, but I can't wait. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching. If you are a returning viewer, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are a new viewer, I hope you enjoyed the video, and it would be wonderful if you could like and subscribe. I hope to be back soon. No promises, but I feel so motivated now to create, and especially to knit, but just to be creative in general. So I'm really hoping that includes filming more and posting more. Come follow me on Instagram. I'm getting a little bit better about posting more often there as well. And I just love connecting with everyone. So thank you all so much. I will talk to you very soon. And until then, happy knitting, happy crafting, do things that make your heart happy, and I'll be doing the same. Bye. Good morning, everybody. Hi. It is about 10 o'clock in the morning here. I'm hoping to do a full-length podcast today. I have the time, I have the motivation, I have the material, so I'm hoping to be able to sit down and record something, but I also thought it'd be fun to do a little vlog style of a little bit of my day. Not much is happening today. I personally have a snow day. What's great about my job is when the area schools close, we are allowed to take the day, encouraged to take the day. We also have daycare that is separate from the school districts. So, and we have already paid for the week. The roads are relatively clear. And she's only a few miles away. My husband, Seaver, has a all-wheel drive car or SUV that can handle weather. And so he is at daycare today. I have to be honest with you, I have a little bit of mom guilt because I am taking the day alone in the house. But honestly, it's been so long since I've had a full day by myself with no interruptions, no childcare, so I am taking full advantage of it. It's only 10 o'clock in the morning. I've already done 2 loads of laundry. I've cleaned both bathrooms. I've cleaned the kitchen, you know, not like deep dive cleaned, but cleaned the kitchen. I've already done a few like organizational projects here in my bedroom because oh, the doorbell is ringing. That's weird. Hold on one second. Okay, it was just FedEx, nothing to worry about. But yeah, so like I was saying before, I decided to take the day. I've been doing lots of cleaning, organizing some projects that I've just been putting off. Also, you guys know now, or at least I probably have mentioned it on the podcast episode that I'm crossing my fingers, I'm hoping to do. But if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I am in my second trimester of pregnancy with our second baby. Yay! But I have for the last few months been totally unmotivated to do anything that isn't necessary. So all of these little projects have been adding up, the, you know, piles of things, just random things that aren't, like I said, they aren't necessary, but I want to get them done. I want to, you know, clear the clutter, all of that stuff. So I'm taking full advantage of having the day, getting our house in order, and then also having a little bit of just me time. That hasn't happened a whole lot either. I mean, unless it's like a weekend and he's napping, but lately we've been busy on weekends. We haven't really been home for downtime, you know, so it's just sort of, I'm allowing myself to, take this opportunity. Anyway, I will show you a few things that I get up to today. But first, I think it's time for a mid-morning snack. It's 10 o'clock. I ate breakfast around 7. I know that, and I eat a small breakfast. I had like a piece of toast with peanut butter on it. That's like my everyday breakfast. But now with the baby coming on the way, me being pregnant, I get hungry a little more often. So I think I'm gonna make an egg and have like an egg on toast. That sounds really, really good right now. And otherwise, yeah, we'll see what else I get up to. Healthy amount of butter on my toast. My Oma would be so proud. One of today's projects is to label all of my Advent skeins. Yes, these are on my bed. I'm changing the sheets, as you can see. I'm washing the sheets. I will put a new pair on, but anyway. So these are the ones I labeled like at the time. This is 1 through 9. But I never got around to labeling the rest. Laziness and then just tiredness. That was right around the time I found out I was pregnant. So anyway, these are all of the colorways. They are listed 1 through 24, so I know what the names are, what the numbers are, but I don't remember, of course, which is which. So I'm going to go back and watch parts of my Vlogmas. That's super handy to have that. And I'm going to find 10 through 24. Also, I have not showed this yet because I haven't podcasted, but I picked up 2 skeins of driftwood from Palmer Yarn Co. This is the Advent is from Palmer Yarn Co. as well. And I am going to do I think it's called My Favorite Adventure sweater by Tristan Molina of Dragon Horde Yarn. So this is the same base, same dyer, everything. And you have to like kind of stripe it, I think. I haven't read the pattern very much, but I know like you kind of change colors with the main color and your advents. The only one that it's going to blend with is this one, but I really didn't have a better option for a main color, and I didn't want just like a white. So, and I didn't want a gray because some of these colors are super warm. I think the driftwood is going to be perfect for all of the rest of the colors. This one is just going to get lost, but that's okay. I'm still going to add it in there. Yeah, it'll be fine. This has a little bit of variegation, a little bit of dark, you know, in there, but you won't be able to tell much difference. But I'm okay with that because I think it goes well with the rest of them. So yeah, we'll do this for a little while and see how long it takes me. I've got them all labeled and in order. I am going to put them back in my bag there until I'm ready to work on my project. But yeah, there they all are. There was only one that I kind of questioned. The lighting was super bad, which you're all like, uh-huh. One of them when I was showing it off. And so I kind of had to save that one until the end just to make sure I rolled out all the others. But yeah, look how pretty. It's so fun to revisit these. Like, it's great to work on the project in the moment, but I get to enjoy them like more than once. That's what's happening right now with my other advent from last year. Every time I pull out a new color to work on it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so pretty. So like, I get to enjoy it twice. Yeah. And that only took me about half an hour, which is great. I did like watch a couple minutes of the Vlogmases like past when when I showed the skein, just to kind of, just for fun, but I didn't do too much of that because I got other stuff to do. But yeah, super glad to have this done. My next project is, oh boy, sewing on some buttons on 2 little baby sweaters. These are not for my future child. This one I knit a while ago, but it needed buttons for so long, so I'm happy to get these on. This will be for a friend. And then this one is going to be, this one I hope you will have seen in the episode. But this one is super sweet. I am so tempted to keep this, but I'm gonna have to knit another one. I've knit this pattern so many times. This is the baby Ashley or the wee Ashley. I think it's the baby Ashley. And this is for Seaver's cousin and his wife. They just had a baby girl. So I knit this while we didn't know gender because she was just born a few days ago. And so that's why it's this sagey green, kind of a gender neutral color, but I still love it for a little girl. I think it's super, super cute. So I'll get the button sewed on here. Seaver's cousin's wife is the one, she was my nurse during my labor with Hudson. I labored all night long, into the nurse shift change. She had just come on her shift when I got there, and then she was with me all night long. And then I had new nurses in the morning because Hudson did not come out. He refused. So I was there for a very long time. But yeah, so she was amazing. She was with me while, I don't know why I didn't turn the camera around. I might as well just talk to you face to face. I didn't realize I was going to talk that much, but I'm sure I've told the story, a little bit of my birth story back when he was born 2.5 years ago. But can you believe it's been 2.5 years? Oh my gosh. But yeah, I went about 12 hours without an epidural because I really wanted to get, I really thought, I could do it, and I could have, I know. But there were a couple complications arising in him my body not progressing, in him not, you know how the head is supposed to help put pressure on the cervix and open the cervix, and that's what dilates you. Well, he wasn't able to because they didn't realize that my water hadn't broken fully. It had broken, but there was still like a cushion. And so I was going through about 12 hours of full-on birthing contractions at 5 centimeters dilated. So my body just couldn't, get him out pretty much. He wasn't in any danger during that time, but my body just couldn't progress. So she was with me during most of that. So we waited obviously a couple hours. They tell you to wait to go to the hospital. Got to the hospital. She was my first nurse. She had just come on duty, and she was with me during the majority of the really, really painful labor. And she walked me through it, and she was just wonderful. We had such a great experience with her, and still feel immensely grateful and connected to her because of that. But yeah, and we hadn't really met her very many times. His family is pretty big. They don't always get together. We had met her twice, maybe, and didn't know her very well, but just she was just awesome. So I still feel that connection to her. She is the one who kind of let me know it was okay to get the epidural. I was so tired. I was so exhausted, and I was still only halfway there. They didn't find out until a few hours later why my body wasn't progressing. And so she, along with Seaver, kind of let me know, I need to have my energy. I need to be able to push this guy out. If I continue in this way, and not that I wouldn't have been able to do it, like I said, but they just sort of let me know that, it's okay. It's okay to need to rest. And yep. And then I remember the moment I gave her, I was like, okay, yep. She was on it. She had the IV in, she had it hooked up. She's just let's do this. You made this decision. Let's do it. And I have said before, it was the best decision I ever made, because I was able to sleep a little bit, and I was able to relax, and they were able to monitor my body and find out what was happening. And they were able to figure out that there was still a water sac in the way, and deal with that so that my body could progress. And then after that was dealt with, he came in 4 hours. I pushed for 2. So my body was just let's go. We've been waiting for this. So anyway, I know you didn't come here to hear a birthing story, but thinking about babies, they just had their baby a couple days ago, and babies have been on the brain a lot lately, obviously. So I'm excited to get these buttons on. I've had the sweater done for, I don't know, a few weeks now, and it just needs buttons. I was also kind of waiting to see, when the baby was born, if it was boy or girl, and I'm gonna send along a card and stuff like that. But yeah, get these done, set aside, or, I'll send in the mail probably next week, and another project ticked off the list. Also, look how cozy that is. I've got my fireplace on. I've got a little treat that I grabbed from the closet that is indeed a Girl Scout cookie. And a little bit of coffee I reheated from this morning on my mug rug, on my little mat that my Oma made me. So I am feeling all the cozy vibes right now. I'm just gonna take a few moments after such a busy morning. I'm gonna sit and relax a bit. Just finished recording, just put away everything. I have a bit of a headache now, so I don't know if it's from talking so much, but I really, I forget how much I enjoy doing that. It's so much fun to talk about knitting, talk about yarn. Oh goodness. Yep, there's all I just sometimes stand here and stare at this beautiful shelf full of yarn. Oh, it's so beautiful. I like pet it sometimes. Anyway, I'm glad you guys probably understand and don't think I'm crazy, but you never know. Okay, I am gonna try and put this up, or not up, but I'm gonna get it onto my computer. That's the first step. And then hopefully in the next day or so, I can edit it and upload it onto YouTube. I would love that. I don't want there to be too much of a lag. Hopefully there's no issues like there was the last time, but I don't think there will be. And yeah, I'm gonna go pick up Hudson. The roads are okay. Seaver let me know that the roads are pretty fine, just a little wet. And I'm gonna go pick up Hudson in about an hour. It's 3:20. Yeah, and then figure out dinner. I have to decide if I want to do leftovers or if I want to cook something. I'm not 100% sure. I had so many great plans of like, I wanted to bake, but the time, it goes so fast. It goes so fast. I have been very productive though today, so I'm really proud of myself, and I'm really happy with what I've gotten done, and also a little bit of some downtime that I've had, like sewing on the buttons and just relax. I did a little bit of knitting around lunchtime, but I would actually kind of like to sit and knit for the last hour and just relax and enjoy myself. When Hudson gets home, you know, it's a little more chaotic. Obviously, I don't want to just like sit there and knit quietly when he's home. Sometimes it's feasible to knit when he's playing or, you know, watching something or whatever, but yeah. Anyway, it's just not the same. You guys know. So, okay, my hand is starting to shake, so I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna go do my thing for the next hour, and yeah, I'll check back later.